Hello troops and welcome back to Hanning's Rest. As you can see, I've finished putting all the labels on the drawers that I've got stuff in. The ones that don't have labels, when the labels stop, there's nothing in them. Like, there's only one locomotive in that one. There's nothing in that one, and nothing in that one. This one over here is where the diesels stop. So that's a class 33 in there. So what have I been up to this week? Well, not a lot so far. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the wheels on this guy. Now, I've already changed the wheels on these two, so we'll see how these run with the changed wheels. There we go. As you can see, it runs really smoothly. And we'll compare it with this guy, which has got the plastic wheels on it and doesn't run very well at all. Right, so I'll show you the wheels that I'm going to put on it and stuff. This is them here. Now these are 12.6mm, I think, aye, 12.6mm diameter wheels, and these ones are spoked, apparently. So I'm going to try and put a couple of sets of them on. Alright, I'll be back in a minute and I'll show you the difference. Right, I've changed the wheels on it now. As you can see, it's got like nice wee spoked wheels on it. Let's see how it runs. Absolutely superb. Welcome back. So that's another wee job done. Now these are Triang models, and I don't know whether to change the couplings on all of these or just on some of them or whatever. As you can see, some of them are a bit bent and stuff and they don't couple up too clever, but there we go. How's that? Nice wee Reka 3 wagons. All they need now is some work, some weathering and stuff. I think they look quite good. I'm going to leave some of my wagons with the old D-type couplings on them so that I can run them with my old Lima and my old Hornbeam Triang stuff, as well as fitting all these different couplings here onto other wagons to run with my newer stuff. Right, on to the next thing. Right troops, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to change these couplings on these 3 wagons for a mixture of KDs, hang on, which will be held on with NEM pockets, and the Hunt swiveling magnetic couplings to make them into a wee Reka 3. And I'll show you how I do this, alright? First thing I'm going to do is this rivet here. I'm going to grind these out. Alright? I'll show you. Alright, as you can see, I've ground the brass down. That brass rivet, and I've just left the 2 wee pins at either side, here and here, and I've already glued this one on. As you can see, it fits over the 2 wee pins. Alright, now I'll fit the NEM pocket on this one and put the KD in. Right troops, as you can see, I've now fitted the NEM pocket. I had to grind away a fair bit of this plastic to accommodate the pocket, but I said that will take a couple of minutes, you know. That's it glued on and it's holding pretty well. That'll accept a KD, no bother. That's the other end with the shiny bit facing down and the dark bit facing up. Alright, I'll fit the KD in that and I'll do the other wagon and we'll see how it all looks when it's done, alright? Right troops, this is the wagons with our converted couplings on them now. We'll see them going by. There you go. You can see how much closer they are as well. Right, 10 minutes with a multi-tool. And that's the finished results. So I've still got this one here to weather up. You know, they're a kind of similar kind of look to the others, but I think it's looking quite good already with the new couplings on it. They make some difference, like. So we've got to do the same to these. I will do the same to these 3 here. I might keep one of the big tension locks on it, as I said, for my Lima models and stuff. But as you can see, that's... I mean, there isn't a great deal of difference, right? When they're getting pulled along, the gap's quite massive. You know what I mean? But they're stopped or not. As I say, these ones at the back, that gap just remains the same all the way through, right? We'll send them back round again, alright? Bye bye. Land her off. Right troops, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change the wheels in these old triangle wagons. Now these are the metal ones, these bits here are metal, so there's no way you can prise the bits apart to get the new wheels in. So what you've got to do is you've got to fit bearings in. Now to do that, you need something to drift it out. That's an axle off another old wagon. I've got my trusty sledgehammer. I've got glue for gluing in the new bearings. I've got a packet of shoulder bearings. And a packet of plain bearings. Right now, to get the axles out on these, what you find is one of the wheels is trapped on the axle. In this case it's this one. The other one's free to spin. Now you can do that by turning each of them, and you'll notice that the axle turns when you turn one of the wheels. Alright, and then what you do is you drift it out, like so. And I'll show you. Right guys, that's the wheels just dropped into place. Now what you do is you get your plain bearings and you drop one in from either side. Because these are the metal chassis on these, I won't be using shoulder bearings, so it'll just be the plain bearings that you need for this one. Hang on, we'll see if we can get one, see if I can do this. Run this camera. That should be fun. Right, and what you do is you just drop it into place like that. And a wee dot of glue on it. You get a couple of minutes, and Bob's your granny, it's dry. And then you turn it over and do the same with the other side. Alright troops, back in a minute. And here's the wee wagon done, re-wheeled. Rolling much better than it did before. Right, Trips, we'll send this wee wagon round the track and see how it gets on, alright? There you go. Rolling away nicely. We'll see how it gets on through the points. Not a hassle. How good is that? So if you're wanting to upgrade your rolling stock without spending a fortune, I mean, you can get these wee wagons for a couple of quid at toy fairs and stuff like that, because nobody wants them. Because they're not the latest, all singing, all dancing, super detailed, mega expensive things, you know what I mean? But running round on the way out, I think they look alright, you know. Oh, there it goes. I'll get into doing the couplings and all that on the other one. So that'll be me able to add another 4 or 5 wagons to my layout that I've had kicking about for years and they'll now run properly. Right, Troops, remember, like, share, subscribe, all that kind of nonsense if you want to see more of me messing about with toy trains. That's a Bachmann D11, by the way. It's a fantastic model. The only problem with it is the tender weighs virtually nothing, which is a bit of a shame really, but eh. And that's another Lima warship, a sharpshooter. I say the wagons have been running around for ages now, not a problem. And the Corey ones have got the plastic under frames, so it was just a matter of prizing the sides apart to get the wheels in. The metal one, as I showed you, it's just a matter of putting in some plain bearings and dropping the wheels, or drop the wheels in and putting the bearings in and gluing them up. You even put a bit of blue tack or whatever to cover over the axle boxes and paint it black. You'll never notice. Running round great. Right, Trips, if you want to see more of this kind of nonsense that I do, then just remember, I'll be back. Alright, Trips, see you in the next one. Bye.